Next story.
nytimes.com. Kansas man reminisces about the night his life changed. Robinette Broadhead.
3 to 4 minutes.
The sleepy town of Harmony, Kansas, rarely finds itself in the national spotlight, but when the local diner, Binky's Munches, received a 5-star review from a renowned food critic, all eyes turned to this quiet corner of the Sunflower State. The man behind the magic, none other than Binky Thompson, a soft-spoken chef with a smile as warm as his apple pie. However, beneath the friendly facade lies a past shrouded in darkness, forever marked by a single, terrifying night in Los Angeles.
Los Angeles back in 1984, Binky begins, his voice betraying a slight tremor even after all these years. 3 punks, me and my buddies, just messing around, should have stayed home that night. His gaze drifts to the window, watching the wind ruffle the wheat fields, a far cry from the neon-drenched streets of his memory.
He recounts the story with the clarity of a trauma etched deep in memory. A night out drinking with friends at Griffith Observatory, the thrill of gazing at the city through a powerful telescope. Then, the chilling encounter, a hulking figure emerging from the shadows, naked, implacable, muscles bulging under the lookout's fluorescent lights.
We were at the local overlook, Binky says, messing around with this telescope, looking at the city. Suddenly, this giant of a man just appears out of nowhere. We thought he was homeless or deranged. We were young. We were stupid. We didn't know what it was all about, so we taunted him. He mockingly repeated the taunts back to us.
Then he demanded our clothes. We demurred and pulled knives to defend ourselves. He just brushed me aside like I was a child. And then, Binky's voice trails off.
Police reports detail what must have happened next. One of Binky's friends was hurled into a metal gate with such force that it broke all his ribs and severed his spine. The other friend had a hammer or some other heavy blunt instrument driven into his chest cavity like a jackhammer, pulverizing his heart and the lower lobes of his lungs. Though brutal, his death was surely instantaneous.
After composing himself, Binky resumes his story. Once he had killed my friends, the brute turned his eyes to me and I got ready for a fight I was sure to lose. Then something came over me. Was it worth dying for some rags? I took off my clothes and gave them to him. And amazingly, stupefyingly, the man put them on and left. I stood there in shock, in my underpants, until I could bring myself to call the police.
News of the killing sent shockwaves through the city. The subsequent massacre at the police precinct by the same man cemented Binky's resolve. LA was a madhouse, he declares, his voice hardening. Naked brutes walking the streets, killing people without mercy. Cops machine-gunned in their offices. Needed a fresh start.
The experience left an indelible mark. LA felt tainted. Every dark corner a potential hiding place for that monster. I couldn't live like that anymore. He met his wife, Skylar, a Kansas native. Shortly after, she showed me this town. Showed me a different kind of life. Slow, peaceful, under a sky full of stars that weren't haunted by living nightmares.
Yet, the scars remain. Binky admits to occasional disturbed nights, the sound of his friends' bodies falling echoing in his sleep. But here, surrounded by the warmth of Binky's and the genuine smiles of his customers, he's found a semblance of peace.
You never forget something like that, Binky concludes, his eyes returning to the fields. But you learn to live with it. This town, it gave me a chance to do just that.